Sure, we're free too. First stream, 2026. Yeah, my internet is fucking up, by the way. Like dropping frames like mad. It's actually making me think, you know. Okay, wait, can I talk this? Let me talk this. Yeah. You know, like, so many people actually can't even get on the streaming wave because the internet in South Africa is ass, basically. But other than that, I think, yeah, it's like a new wave. It's a new thing that's starting out. Let me close my door, my feet. Let me figure out what's going on. Too harsh, okay. Well, that was a bit too harsh, but yeah, let's talk. So, who is OG and what does it do? So, OG is a software developer, a solutions architect, sort of tech guy. Works in telco. And I've been working in the software engineering field for like the longest of times. But now I'm a streamer actually. And why am I a streamer? Well, I think streaming is like so different to all the other social media platforms because everything else is so fugazi, man. Like it's about setting up this aesthetic that is not necessarily real, right? But with streaming, you even see the in real life category, right? Which shows you that it's more based on what's actually going on versus what you want to be going on. So I think with where I'm at in my life and with the processing and thinking that I've been doing the past like few months or whatever, I was like, no, man, let me try something new. Let me figure out if so. I've gotten a lot of different like sort of compliments over the past couple of months or few months or for the longest time actually. Different ish guys like from like just New Year's messages fans, but yeah, like different things like from appearance, presence, aesthetic, you know, and I've sort of been processing it all. So me myself, I did motion picture. That's one of the things I studied at after, and then I also did business at CPUT, right? So business and information systems, so accounting and information systems. So I'm sort of a tech fundi, if you may, and because I studied both sides, I sort of understand tech ecosystems a bit better. So what do I mean by this? I work with the telcos, which is sort of the platform and infrastructure side of things, right? In terms of creating the technologies that empower or enable these platforms like Twitch, you know. What I mean by this is that telcos, MTN, Vodacom, Salsi, Rain, they build networks that allow communications between persons using devices, cell phones, computers, whatsoever. And primarily what they're interested in is just making sure that the data transport side of things is like perfect or whatever. But now, beyond the data transport, you want to look at what is being transported. So as much as the telcos are sort of creating the roads and the infrastructure around the roads and maybe even the vehicles that travel on those roads, they're not actually looking at the passengers, what they're doing, and sort of the specs of the vehicles that are actually being transported on these networks or digital highways, if you may. So where I come in as someone that sort of understands both. I did motion picture, So I sort of understand broadcasting, right? And also creation of content, because sort of streaming is not the most trivial of content creation. It's not as straightforward as some of the other platforms, your Twitches and your TikToks and your Twitters and that sort of stuff. And what do I mean by that is it needs a lot more initial setup. Like, if you just have a phone, it's probably not going to be enough to get your Twitch journey started, because it's much more broadcast based, right? So it's actually like in real life, right? Whereas some of the other social networks, it takes a bit less to get kicked off. With this type of social media, yeah, it's very different, and the thing is, you gotta understand how it's different from the rest of the other platforms, right? So the way you approach streaming is quite different, but the only connection I'll mention that makes it relevant for me is that streaming is analogous to events, right? So I used to be a promoter. I used to throw pretty big shows. I've had a couple of big shows, relatively big shows. So I understand getting people together, marketing a show, getting a lineup, logistics, budget, all of those things. And streaming is very similar to that, because stream marathons or subathons or watch parties or whatever you're going to do, or how you're going to engage the streaming platform, it requires a lot more endurance than your atypical Instagram. You pull up your phone for a minute, 30, minute to 5 minutes, and take some content, edit, and you're done. Twitch and streaming platforms don't work like that. You need to set up a whole event. You need to set up a stream. And the stream is continuous, which means that people need to have a way to be continuously engaged, and you ultimately are responsible for that. So I studied motion picture, as I mentioned, and I majored in directing and screenwriting. So directing is coordinating the creative vision, right? And making sure that all elements of the creative vision are adhered to the extent that it is adequately fulfilled, either through the director's vision or the writer's vision or the producer's vision. But the director is responsible for making sure that firstly the audience receives the actual version of the story that they should have received, that is true to the script or whatever else. But further than that, also is responsible for just engaging on the producer or whoever else's vision. So now, peeps, yeah, that's sort of where I'm coming in. I understand the directing side of things. I understand the the other side of things. There's a lot of other side of things that I actually get, and I think it's one of the things that makes me different. So let's just add a browser here. Let's just see, so that we can let's see. I want to move the scene away from this one. Why is the scene? Okay, let's move the scene. Can I add an overlay? Okay, add a browser. There we go. Let's check youtube.com. What the fuck is hitting me now? What the fuck? What the fuck is eating me off here, dude? Like, I've literally got this Xala now from some shit. And he's chomping on me, bro. He's like chomping on me. What the fuck, dog? Internet is pretty ass at the moment. Which doesn't make any sense, but yeah, okay. Let me just see. Why is my browser not working? I'm like trying to open a window, yo. Okay, we got our YouTube up. Okay, don't get over there. Got our YouTube up. Let's see what's happening on YouTube. Quit the overlay, dog. Like, yo. I'm not trying to do the previews, yo. I'm not trying to do the previews. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on with this shit? Sign in. Why am I unable? Okay, I'm coming back now a bit. Okay, like, escape. Like, yo. Okay, that's me, I get it. Okay. I can't do shit though on the browser. Like, I actually can't do. Okay, cut, remove source. Yes, just remove the browser. The browser is fucking me over. Still is way oversized, man. No. What are you doing? If it suck. Okay, if it suck, I'm not gonna spend the night on this. So yeah, I was saying, yeah, so that's how I'm getting into streaming, and I think besides the whole understanding the tech and what it's about, what streaming is, I also sort of have been told a lot about my personality. So yes, I studied media, but I've never been compelled. I need to fix my grill, guys. You see it. So I'm also working on a movie. You see it, I need to get this undone. That's weird. I need to get this undone. I like this one though. I need to get this undone. Get them poly whites in. Yeah, so I've never wanted to actually redo my teeth. But I feel like it's time. Yeah, I think it's time. So this one, if you guys didn't know, here is a non-vital tooth. So it's basically gotten some trauma, basically, like a knock, or so I don't know if it was when I was fighting as a kid, or maybe I'm Bambiskara and then I got hurt or whatever. But yeah, it's a non-vital tooth. It's not decaying in any way. It's just dead. It's lost contact with the nerve. So it's like when someone knocks you hard on the tooth. Maybe if you're fighting or you're in a car accident, you knock your mouth. A lot of people usually get it through some sort of trauma to the tooth, and what happens is the tooth shakes so much that it doesn't go out of the socket, but then the nerve detaches. And once nerves are detached, that's why they say it's non-vital, because it's now no longer receiving the sort of vitals from the nerves, which is like the blood and the pulses and whatever you call it. Yeah. So yeah, it's a non-vital tooth. And yeah, I think it's time to maybe get it sorted out in a moment. Yo guys, I thought I was gonna do a mix for y'all, but I'm so tired. Like, I spent the day cleaning today. The landlord is coming over. Yo, is that the machine like whiling out on the mic? Damn. So yeah, I spent the day cleaning, like throwing out like my old stuff. Like yeah, new year, new me sort of stuff, but nothing new basically. Um, that shit is shining, nigga. Imagine I had a girl joints, but it was with me. I have that rough look. I have that look that would do with a girl. What you think? What's up, chat? How you feel? How you feel about me? Good on girl. I get confused. I should actually change the orientation of this thing to not murder because now it's like fucking like confusing me. But yeah, I think I'm tired, I think I'm gonna have a cig and call it a night. You know, but yeah, this is OG the Don. I don't just call myself OG the Don. That's a name that I've gotten from stripes on my shoulders, man. How can I put it? And without trying to be a fake OG, it just is what it is, man. I've been around the way. I've done this, done that, done pretty much a bit of everything. But I think for me, streaming is the one because of who I am, man. I think it allows me to just be myself and just invite you into my life, raw and unfiltered, in a sense. Allow you to come in, see who I am, what I do. So it's always the Don, not a DJ, but I do play. And of course, yeah, so I often used to DJ for my friends and used to be a DJ way back in the day. But after I became a promoter, I sort of went off the DJing thing. But I was also a vocalist for a long time. Like, yeah, that's where my focus was, on the vocals and getting stuff out vocally. But now I think I want to play a little bit just for the sake of like playing music for the people. I think the sounds that are out there at the moment are quite robust, diverse, and I think the market is quite good. Amapiano especially. So it's a good a time as any just to go out there and do things for the sake of music. Like I used to throw hip hop events way back when the hip hop movement was starting out, like 2015, 2014, but also doing house and hip hop. But yeah, the hip hop movement kicked off. Fam, what's eating me, fam? What's eating me, fam? Like, yo, what the fuck? I'm literally being eaten alive on the stream, fam. Like, check me out, man. Can you see this shit? Check this out, man. Check this out. Something like fucking eating me. Can you see this shit? Like, this light is ass, but can you see this shit? Like, something is like eating the shit out of me, fam. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, I said, like, yeah, I used to do hip hop events way back in the day, like 2015. When the new hip hop wave kicked off, you know, the whole old school, OK Malum, Cool Cat, Ricky, Casper, Ginger, Nadia. When that whole set was like popping off, I was pretty much doing hip hop shows at the time, sort of doing stuff in the hip hop underground. Did a few like big Yana shows. But basically was an ambassador for the culture. But I never pursued it like beyond that. But yeah, I was always a house guy. But yeah, definitely I jumped on when the hip hop wave hit, just for the sake of it was what was popping at the time, and then I was on it for like a few years, like 4 or 5 years, and then piano started picking up again, like 2018. I would say 2018, 2019. But we had COVID, which I don't know if COVID actually helped Amapiano or if it took away from it, if it like maybe killed some of the momentum. But what I think is like, what it did do is create a environment whereby people were active consumers. Like they wanted to have something to consume. I mean, they were just chilling at home doing folk all. So they were like, what if I get something to watch? Like, hence the watch parties popped off and everything else. And yeah, at that time actually I started my piano journey also like 2018, 2019. So 2019, I think, is the time I met Easy K online, and Easy was doing like my piano beats. So 2020, and Easy was doing like my piano beats. 19-year-old, not even 19. 19 is old. 16-year-old kid from Mozambique, was doing like this. It was quite infused at the time, but he eventually went to pure piano, like pure Kabza piano. But yeah, it was like almost quite infused piano beats at the time, and that was quite dope. So I jumped back into the vocal scene with him, but obviously I'm a Cape Town nigga. I live in Cape Town, so I could never get things to pop off in terms of producers, and also like I was in IT, so music was never a hunger for me. But maybe not even that. Maybe if I had not been in IT, I would have inevitably met more people, because a lot of my time is actually spent away from the scene. And I wonder how that's going to work out with the streaming as well. But with the streaming, what's nice is that it's controlled, so I can easily set aside 3 or 4 days and like set up my stream parties and like my subathons and stuff, and like coordinate work around it. But ezinye stuff is like a bit more tricky. But yeah, so the vocal thing never kicked off that much. I think, yeah, it was an issue of producers and a lot of other things. But I enjoyed the journey with Easy at the point. Eventually, Easy and Blow 258, they're popping in Mozambique. I can say they're popping. They did quite well with the piano, so they learned the fundamentals just by doing a study of sort of South African classic piano, and then they've pivoted now into a Mozambique-centric or Mozambique-esque sort of piano sound, where they incorporate some of the natural language vocals. But the journey started, yeah, back then. And then, yeah, 2025, how I got here now. Yeah, I've had a tricky year. A year where a lot of stuff was said about who I am as a person, or directed to me as a person, both good and bad. Both good and bad. But I think now, with that being said, it sort of brought me to a place where I'm ultimately highly comfortable with who I am, and not trying to change or emulate anyone or any of those things. But really, what I'm focused on is spreading my light to the world, just being myself, maybe using the streaming platform for positivity and for other things that could actually ultimately be positive to me and to the world, you know? I feel like it's a space I understand. I've had friends like constantly comment on like the lifestyle I live, and yo nigga, you here, there, everywhere. The shit you do is like, Instagram passport shit. And I'm like, I was always being like, this is just who I am, dog. Like, for me, it's not about the fame. It's not about living someone else's version of a perfect life. And I don't have a perfect life, but I'm living the perfect version of my life the best way I can, I guess. And it might not be a perfect life, but I'm living it the best way I can, But yeah, people have been giving me props. They were like, figure out the whole streaming thing. Maybe if you want to become a streamer, see if that's maybe something that you want to do. Get your personality out there. Start talking about who you are, what you do, what you bring to the game. Because they say you have an interesting face. You look like someone that's important. You look like someone that's doing something. Like, they often say things like, I see something in you, that sort of stuff. And with the invalidation that happened of who I am, and my space in the world, where people just hate you for being yourself and for bringing your natural light to occasions and to the room, and then ultimately what you get is people conniving and scheming against you, fam. And the crazy thing that I learned from all of that is that you can't actually stop people from hurting you when they want to hurt you, right? That's the crazy thing about people hurting us, right? You can't stop someone from wanting to hurt you. Once they've decided that they want to hurt you, then there's so little you can do to prevent them from hurting you, you know. So, yeah, people attacked me, attacked my spirit, attacked my resolve, attacked who I was as a person, you know, my character, the essence of what I thought I was. And it really broke me down in a sense. It actually put me in a bit of a depression, if I'm being honest. And getting out of the depression was not easy. Or it's like, yeah, I had to dig deep to actually figure out who I am and what I'm about. And ultimately, though, through it all, um, I'm just glad that 2026 I'm still myself, you know. And besides being myself, that I found myself, you know, that I figured out who I am and what I'm about and what I'm bringing to the party, you know. So yeah, this is OG the Don. Not a DJ, I'm a streamer. Welcome to my life. I'm about to take you guys in, show you what I'm about, what I do, my friends, my interactions, you know, my travels and everything else. It's not my first stream, but I first think this is my first just chatting stream. So even the just chatting format, I don't know how I feel about it yet. But we'll see as we figure out like how interactive it is and things like that. But yeah, I think for now, just subscribe, like, follow. There's gonna be a lot happening, fam. And there's no party like an OG party. I've been throwing parties since my mama's house, fam. So yeah, I think we're gonna take it this year. When I say we're gonna take it, I mean I want the actual championship, right? If I say I'm a streamer, dog, then I mean the streamer, right? Same way I say to you guys that I'm an engineer or whatever, I'm one of the top engineers. I'm a tier 1 operator. So I think even with the streaming game, I'm not here to become a C or B operator. It's tier 1 operations. And basically what I'm doing it for is Mzansi, fam. I'm doing it for the kid who's just like me, who questions who they are, who questions whether who they are and being themselves is dope or not dope, and constantly get invalidated from so many facets of society. But when they are on my stream, I want everyone to feel like, you know, they're validated and they are part of the South African story, and ultimately the world can see them too for who they are, and without them having to change anything about themselves. And yeah, man, yeah, fam. I think I'm here for the championship. I want to do it big for Mzansi. I'll be pulling in all the ropes. This is a culmination of everything that I've been doing, and I'm just about to put everything together for this and like to make it big. So yeah, I've started streaming. There's a goal, there's a mission, there's a vision. Welcome to the lifestyle. We're about to have some fun. There's gonna be parties, there's gonna be friends, there's gonna be pain, there's gonna be pleasure. There'll be a bit of everything for everyone. Truly South African experience, showing off what this great country has to offer, and just being myself through it all. Fam, I'm getting the New Year's calls, so I have to shout out and call it quits. But let me answer my friend and see what this guy is saying. He dropped. He's actually giving me a video call. Let me see what he says. Let me call him back. Hey bafo, engathi unxilile kule ndawo kuyo, ungancumeza, hayi khona problem. No problem, no problem. Ndimotsho mfethu, umotsho. Likwenza ngantoni la? Yima gama ndikhuphe le wifi, Iyandibona grand ngoku. Ingcono. Ah, man, ukufonele man Ali ngokwami ngizobe nikufonele ngo. Engathi sanibhedela. Yeah, so that's one of my guys, Ali. Ali Zio is like, yeah, software dev as well, close friend. I've known him for like, yeah, more than 10 years. Actually, one of the dudes that helped me during this depression, dog. Like, just to realize who you are and what you're about, you know. So Ali would invite me to his place. He lives with his brothers, and the thing is, me and Ali met when we met at a hackathon in Kailicha, actually, in like 2016, 2017, and a few other guys. And yeah, it's ever since then we've sort of charted the journey together, because 2016 I was at the start of my sort of 10-year corporate run, and he was also starting out his sort of development journey. So yeah, he's done well for himself. I mean, he has a nice house, nice car, and yeah, he's just been a good reflective point for me about like why I do this and what it's about, and just seeing him like and how he takes care of his family and takes care of his brothers, and he's able to just be a caregiver, you know. So I mean, he also didn't grow up in the best of circumstances. He's pretty much like an orphan. I don't know if he would have liked me to say that, but it is what it is. It's his story, I guess. But yeah, he's done incredibly well for himself, given the circumstances. And I always use him as one of the reflective points to also just say, it's not just me, and it's not just, I'm not the only exceptional story in South Africa. The same way I'm not the only rags to riches story. The same way I'm not the only pain and sort of pain and pursuit story, you know. It's like there's so many other people that I'm hoping to introduce to you on the chat, invite in, and to actually start telling these sort of homegrown South African stories, both through my friends and anyone else who I end up like finding on the stream and figuring out. But yeah, fam, we're going big, we're going for it. Watch out. Ali's birthday, one of the events that's definitely going to be on the stream. Ali throws an annual birthday bash with his brothers, and it's the biggest thing that I've seen. Exclusive house party. We're talking eight plus, if you know what I mean. It's an 8+ event. Always been, always will be. And we're going to introduce the world to it. Like, those who know, but those who don't know. But we're going to like actually put everyone on. Yeah, so that's my nigga Ali. I'll probably put him on when I start, like, on one of the streams when I get together the devs, when I get together my sort of software dev family and guys that I know from the industry. I'll definitely hit him up, get him on board. But other than that, we're doing it for Mzansi. We're doing it for the love. We're doing it for the stories. We're doing it for the people. We're doing it for everything that we are as a nation. And we're going for the championship, guys. Like, Kimang Donald Trump. Kubanu Donald Trump. Kimang Donald Trump. Yeah. Orange hair, no, chief. We want to take it back. It's not DNA, it's RSA. And this is OG the Don Guy 1. Others know him as Avu. Mfana waka Mshengu, Mfana waka Shabalala, and just another guy. Not a DJ. I'm a streamer. Gentle rivers, flowing stream, guys, and this year we do it big. Shouting out, this is OG the Don. Peace and love to the world.